Minister Udo Udoma explained that the federal government has released a total of 247 billion naira capital funds to key ministries and agencies that will stimulate the economy for job creation and revenue generation. The minister further explained steps being taken by government to stimulate economic activities in the country and expressed optimism that adequate attention will be given to all government agencies, including the constituency projects of the National Assembly.
We selected the major infrastructure, power works and housing. When you have limited funds, you have to be targeted and focused. Otherwise, you end up spreading the money and having no impact.
The Senate committee members, who described the releases as selective, urged the minister to ensure that the 2016 budget is implemented to the letter, with priority attention given to the federal constituency projects in line with the aspirations of Nigerians.
We are also not, by virtue of the nature of this release, attacking the very fundamental areas where we have promised Nigerians. And I think that is something we need to look at. Whatever happens in every constituent part of Nigeria, that is the constituency of Mr. President. And each and every one of us is equally concerned that, yes, we want to see that impact at that level with respect to those constituencies.
The Senate Appropriations Committee also urged the minister to fast-track increase in the exchange rate earnings, utilization of the recovered looted funds, as well as address Niger Delta issues to enhance economic productivity. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Chairman House Committee, Joint Committees on Ethics, Privileges and Foreign Relations, Osai Nicholas Osai, has affirmed the committee's determination to give all concerned in the alleged attempted rape by 3 of their members a fair hearing and lay the matter to rest. This was at an investigative hearing on the matter. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Recall that a correspondent by the United States Ambassador to Nigeria reported a case of sexual misconduct against Representative Mohammed Gololo, Sam Ekon, and Mark Igbila. The matter was brought to the floor of the House and was referred to the joint committees. The chairman also said the House is aware that it is a diplomatic matter and will be treated accordingly.
The committee is not unmindful of controversies and commentaries generated within and outside Nigeria by this allegation. Needless to remind everybody that the whole world is watching. Ordinarily, Ethics and Privileges Committees and Foreign Affairs do silent investigations and make the public know. But these issues have generated a lot of interest.
We shall also, as a house that ratifies the treaties that Nigeria enters into, one of them is the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Matters. So if that was breached on the other side, we will not breach, because we are the house that ratifies these treaties and we understand what the channel of conversation.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, who were unavoidably absent, sent a letter to the chairman of the Joint Committee, which he read at the hearing. The hearing was adjourned to the 20th of July, 2016. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
And the federal government has assured private investors in the United Kingdom of its commitment to create an enabling business environment to support the flow of domestic and foreign investments in Nigeria. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, and that of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, gave the assurances at an investment roadshow in London. Correspondent Bilkisu Abdulrazak Odoye reports.
Take several years.
Mr. Oke Enelama, while addressing the group of business persons and stakeholders on transforming Nigeria's agricultural sector, a roadmap, said the government is working on making it possible for potential investors to get visas on arrival in Nigeria, register new businesses a lot faster, acquire land and property with fewer bottlenecks, and move goods faster on land and sea. Adding that his ministry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, is set to create a revolution.
There is a lot of collaboration that is going on, both in terms of distribution, which is how we create access to markets, and value addition, which is basically how do we take primary products and add value to them and get results from them, and also notably in the area of trade.
Similarly, Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, said the best way to transform the agricultural sector is through mechanized farming. He also spoke on huge investment opportunities that dams and river basin authorities lying fallow for years holds for investors.
There is a lot for them to gain, and for us, we can gain from their expertise, we can gain from the injection of capital, and ultimately what we're after is delivery of service. Everybody wants to open his tap and see water.
Stakeholders expressed optimism about the economic diversification policy of the federal government.
Working with the NIPC was to showcase that energy, that opportunity that is in Nigeria to British businesses, for us to be involved in the development and long-term economic growth of Nigeria.
Presentations on creating a Mato Grosso in Nigeria, key considerations in creating a successful agriculture and water strategy, agrofinancing and assessment of options, as well as managing the risk of investing in agriculture featured. In London, Elkisu Abdurazak Oduoye, NTA News.
Back in Nigeria, Ministry of Science and Technology is to organize a Techno Expo to showcase the nation's inventions, research results, and multi-dimensional technological innovations. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Bunayanu, gave the indication while declaring open a two-day technical validation workshop on sustainable energy for all. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports that the workshop seeks the adoption of one central voice on energy operating in one single template by stakeholders.
In 2012, Nigeria joined the global community by launching the Sustainable Energy for All initiative. This workshop brought together all sectors of the society, including government, the private sector, the civil society, and the academia, to support three interlinked objectives of ensuring universal access to modern energy services, doubling improvement in energy efficiency, and renewable energy in the global energy mix by 2030.
Europe will be emphasizing solar energy, and we in Nigeria, that is located by the tropics, will not take advantage of our geographical location, which nature has put us. Wind energy, there are so many, biomass and all that. So I think that the solution to our energy problem, and if you want to look at electricity, is that we diversify. We must diversify.
With 15 years to meet the Sustainable Energy for All, Director General of Energy Commission, Professor Bala, says strategic planning and coordination of national policies in all its ramifications is apt.
What we are looking out for is the validated action plans.
Only when you bring this energy to the mass market and private sector would want to invest in it.
Sustainable Energy for All is the initiative of NEPAD.
Energy is essential in driving and growing national economies as well as improvement in standard of living of mankind. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has lauded Kano-based businessman Aminu Dantata for his numerous philanthropic gestures, the recent being the lying-in ward and intensive care unit, built and equipped to international standards, all situated at the National Orthopedic Hospital, Dala, Kano State. In a letter of commendation this Friday, President Buhari said the gestures are practical demonstrations of his deep-seated concern for the well-being of Nigerians. In a statement by a special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari expressed the profound gratitude of the government and people of Nigeria to Alhaji Dantata for his significant contributions to national unity and national renewal. Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara has continued with his mediation in the industrial conflict between resident doctors and the federal government. In their last meeting, which took place last Thursday, the Speaker assured them of unbiased mediation. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
This is the third mediation meeting by Speaker Yakubu Dogara involving National Association of Resident Doctors and the federal government. The mood of the parties involved displays a feeling of lasting solution in sight. The Speaker did not lose sight of this as he commended the doctors for suspending their industrial action in the interest of the nation.
And I hope that we will all play our roles as leaders to ensure that we provide solutions to this.
We have almost resolved all of them.
And to be candid, there is an amicable resolutions on all the issues.
Meanwhile, the Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Abdulrazak Namdas, says the decision of the House of Representatives to investigate the bailout funds to states is to ensure that the goodwill of the President is not abused to the detriment of state workers. While briefing National Assembly correspondents, the spokesperson of the House said that very soon an ad hoc committee will be set up to carry out the investigation.
But very soon the ad hoc committee will be named for you to know, and they will soon into action.
Representative Abdulrazak Namdas explained that the ongoing investigation on the alleged misconduct of some members in the United States will never be distorted. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
A look at gender issues. The wife of Nigeria's president, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has encouraged women to strategize and lobby for better deals in all strata of development and governance. She was speaking at the 2016 National Council of Women Societies Convention in Abuja.
On the political parties to give us a percentage, we should put it in writing and sign and operate based on what we have signed.
Meanwhile, Nigerians have been told to rise up as a people to fight against sexual violence in order to protect the future of the nation. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmood Mohammed, made the call in a message to the 2016 National Conference of Women Judges, which opened in Abuja. Femi Okewu reports.
Realizing that the National Association of Women Judges have since its existence carried out various kinds of activities to champion the cause of women and children, while also pushing for a formidable representation of women on the bench, the Chief Justice of Nigeria said fighting violence against women and children should not be left to women organizations alone. He commended the National Association of Women Judges for helping in raising the standard of the nation's judiciary.
Your modern role is not only to represent the legitimate aspirations of the Nigerian female, but also to reflect the society's aspiration, as well as the Nigerian judiciary's constitutional commitment to enforcing the rule of law.
President of the association, Justice Helen Ogunwumiju, a justice of the Court of Appeal, said the association's intervention has propounded new jurisprudence in the offenses of rape, kidnapping, and other gender or sexual offenses.
We must give back to society in our own little way, part of the wisdom and substance God has given us. Of course, we must be cautious so that we are not in any way tainted by the politics of the day.
This is the 25th year of the association, and its founder, Justice Rose Okeji, said its objectives have been achieved.
Women judges are usually good performers.
Apart from Yobe State and now recently Sokoto State, there's no state in Nigeria that does not have senior women judicial officers. Now this association has a 315-member strength spread across Nigeria. From National Judicial Institute, Femi Okewu, NTA News.
Today is World Youth Skills Day. As a means of addressing the challenges of unemployment and underemployment, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution declaring 15 July as World Youth Skills Day. Olayinka Ojo takes a look at the significance of this year's theme, skills development to improve youth employment.
It was instituted in December 2014. The United Nations estimates the number of unemployed youths globally at over 94.5 million, with majority living in developing countries. According to the International Labour Organization, young people are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than adults. with the issue of youth unemployment being a major concern of both industrialized and developing countries.
Skills development reduces poverty.
In his message to mark the day, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon says skills development triggers a process of empowerment and self-esteem that benefits everyone. Understanding what works to support young people in today's and tomorrow's labor markets through training and skills development, according to stakeholders, is key to achieving the 2030 agenda.
Life is all about providing solutions to human problems. So I intend to be on my own.
To start practicing tailoring.
Available jobs in Nigeria by records cannot cater for the needs of teeming youths. Organizations and institutions like NDE, Smeden, the NYSC, to mention but a few, have been training and are training young Nigerians in different vocational and entrepreneurial skills.
Youth Skills Acquisition Day is every day for NDE. So it's important for us to have them properly trained.
When there is training, there should be proper monitoring and evaluation.
Although authorities are of the opinion that existing systems are failing to address the learning needs of many young people, they however urge governments to increase efforts in providing skills and jobs for youths so as to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals 4. In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Now, this is the news on NTA International from Abuja, Nigeria. Stay with us for more news coming shortly.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Look at some security reports. The Chief of Defence Staff, General Gabriel Olonisaki, says the armed forces will soon launch Operation Accord to tackle the menace of security challenges in Nigeria, especially in the Niger Delta region. He made this known while receiving the Acting Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, at the Defence Headquarters in Abuja. Obiagelu Goke reports.
Receiving the Inspector General of Police, Chief of Defence Staff General Gabriel Olonisaki expressed the readiness of the armed forces to collaborate with police to further stay ahead security challenges in the country.
We have been able to come up with strategies in various areas to address these security challenges. One key factor is intelligence.
The Inspector General of Police, who explained that his visit is aimed at strategizing on how to boost cooperation between the armed forces and the Nigerian police, asked for assistance in training Nigerian Police Marine Unit to enhance security in the Niger Delta region.
We are supposed to take over 19 local governments, and so far we have taken over 9. I think these areas will possibly get some guidance.
Meanwhile, 2 suspected Boko Haram terrorists, Bakure Tijani and Seydou Lawal from Yobe State, who have been properly profiled and cleared, were released and formally handed over to Yobe State government representatives. While handing over the suspect, Rear Admiral Andrew Da Costa said the gesture is to demonstrate the armed forces of Nigeria's commitment to the observance of the rule of law.
And as many suspects that are cleared will be handed over in due course.
Representative of Yobe State government appreciated the military and promised that the state will rehabilitate the suspects and integrate them back to the society.
Earlier on, we have received some of the released detainees who the authorities found that they have no case to answer.
Obiagelu Ugoke, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government says there is no truth in the insinuation that the report of the Presidential Committee on the Audit of Defence Equipment, Procurement and the Armed Forces between 2007 and 2015 was doctored for whatever reason. In a statement issued in Abuja, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said what has been released so far is a report of the audit covering the period of 2011 to 2015, adding that the committee would commence the audit of procurement from 2007 to 2010 as soon as the necessary documents are available. He said when the documents regarding procurement from 2007 to 2010 are available and scrutinized, the committee will then issue its report on that, pointing out that the audit is being done in phases and the report that was released on Thursday is the third. The minister assured the federal government's anti-corruption fight is not discriminatory and called on Nigerians to keep an open mind as events unfold. Lai Mohammed maintained that no one should attempt to distract government from the seriousness of the issues involved in this audit of defense equipment procurement, saying it is important to note that even though the huge amount claimed to be used for procurement and operations within the period, the military did not get value for money with various serious consequences. The Nigerian Army Engineering Corps has recorded a breakthrough in automobile sector with newly constructed troops infantry patrol vehicle for enhanced troops movement in the field of operations. This was on display during static equipment parade marking the grand finale of this year's Nigerian Army Day celebration in Gusau, Zamfara State. Defense correspondent Muhammad Abdulkadir reports.
Combat equipment on parade.
The Federal Road Safety Corps is working with institutions of learning in the country to actualize her ongoing campaign on evolving a safer road culture in Nigeria. Corps Marshal Boboye Uyemi, in a lecture at the University of Lagos, Akoka, said the Corps will continue to take measures at tackling challenges of road safety in the country. Salihu Abdullahi has the details.
The FRSC Corps Marshal said millions of lives are lost and varying degree of injuries suffered due to road traffic crashes globally, with a developing country like Nigeria with fewer vehicles recording high figures. He said it is therefore important for institutions of learning to join the FRSC to find lasting solutions to the menace. Boboye Oyeyemi pointed out that the Corps has remained largely civil in its approach to issues of enforcement, urging the academia and Nigerians to support in its quest at ensuring a safer road environment in Nigeria.
Reduction of fatalities by 50% by year 2020. That is UN decade of which Nigeria is signatory to, that we have to work on. We're not talking about crashes. Lives must be preserved. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to sign on to this today to have a full commitment that your own life and that of others must be saved.
In his remarks, the Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, represented by Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, DVC Academics and Research, described the lecture as an eye-opener which will help in creating road safety consciousness among the students and other members of the university community. The Vice Chancellor commended the FRSC for its campaign against road carnage and expressed the readiness of the institution to sustain its partnership with the Corps for massive enlightenment of the people. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Next is business news with Olayinka Ojo.
Welcome to Business News. Asian shares extended gains to a 9-month high on Friday, on track for a solid weekly rise, as better than expected economic data from China lifted risk sentiment that was already buoyant after a record high on Wall Street. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker says he wants a free trade agreement between the European Union and Japan to be concluded by the end of the year. Federal ministries, departments and agencies are indebted to the federal government to the tune of 178.56 billion naira. The Debt Management Office will disclose this in a report entitled Federal Government on Lent Loans to MDAs, said 11 MDAs benefited from the money lent to them for infrastructure development projects. Before we go, a quick check at closing figures on the floor of the stock market. And that's it on the business news. I am Olainka Uju.
We now bring you reports from across the globe with Joseph Orok as our guide.
The United Nations says at least 300 people have been killed in 4 days of intensive gun battle in Juba, the capital of South Sudan, with about 42,000 having fled the city. The recent violence in Juba triggered the fighting that brought about the civil war and marks a fresh blow to last year's peace deal to end the bitter conflicts which began when President Salva Kiir accused ex-rebel and now Vice President Machar of plotting a coup. And from Europe, the French government has declared a 3-day national mourning beginning from Saturday in response to a lorry accident that killed over 80 people, with 18 others said to be receiving treatments in the hospital.
France is afflicted, but she is strong, and she will always be stronger, I assure you. Will always be stronger than the fanatics who want to strike her today.
The lorry plowed through packed crowds gathered for Bastille Day celebrations in Nice, southern France. Police reports, however, says the attacker, who is identified as a 31-year-old Tunisian-born Frenchman, was not on the watch list of the French intelligence services, but was known in connection with common crimes such as theft and violence. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
And that's the much we can take on NTA International News at this time. We thank you for watching. I am Oku Ekmayang. Bye for now.